you check the children? Show a little match sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is what
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil, Laird, and I'm here to do a review of the brand new release, The Blackening, directed by Tim Story. So, guys, this movie was absolutely hilarious. This is a horror comedy, and again, directed by Tim Story, who has an illustrious career from starting, he's been doing things for a long time, but he's largely known for Barbershop. He also he directed a couple of the Kevin Hart specials. He did Think Like a Man 2. He did Ride Along 1 and 2. He also did Shaft, the 2019 version, and he actually directed the 2021 Tom and Jerry remake or reboot, whatever you want to call it. So this is his newest film, a straight up horror comedy featuring a ton of hilarious actors and actresses, and I absolutely had a wonderful time with The Blackening. So just again, overall thoughts first here on the Horror Show, and I laughed so much during this movie. It was an excellent comedy film. The horror elements, if I have to be honest, were not as strong, unfortunately. They weren't the horror elements weren't what was leaned on in this. I guess if you had to make a correlation to, or at least a comparison to a recent horror release, Cocaine Bear, right? It was not the hottest on the horror elements, but it was really funny. This one was even funnier dialogue-wise, and all of the actors in this film were excellent and were funny and drove the story, and it was a really great time. So I will say that story-wise, getting into it, the film is very basic, very old school horror movie, very 90s, 2000s horror movie where a group of friends get together, or there's some reunion going on nearby for this school group, and they all decide to get together and actually rent a place together over the course of the reunion weekend. And so the two people that start the party are the first two people in the very first scene of the movie that run afoul of some badness going on at the home. So, I'm not going to get into spoilers or anything like that, but it's a very basic story. Everyone's getting together for a reunion, and a bunch of friends that haven't seen each other in a long time are hanging out once again, and they run afoul of some nastiness, and people start to die. And it's about what does the group of people do in order to get out. And that's part of why this film is so funny, because it is from such a particular point of view. Again, it's called The Blackening. It is definitely geared towards a black audience. The whitest of white reviewers, probably taking a look at this film, have a very particular point of view, and I absolutely thought the film was hilarious and fun and worth everyone's time to go see. But there are definitely jokes that I feel like I was not the target audience for. Shows that I haven't watched, movies that I haven't watched, just cultural experiences that I haven't gone through. There's certain jokes that I just didn't laugh at, but there was uproarious laughter through the theater that I was watching the film at. And so the film hit home for the audience that I was seeing it with, and myself. So take from that what you will, but the film was hilarious, the story was engaging, the horror was tropey and light, but it was more to let the characters shine, and I feel like that was the right decision in this case. So acting wise, all of the characters were really funny. There was one character that kind of played a socially awkward, kind of nerdy-esque sort of dude that you see in the trailer that claims he voted for Trump and stuff like that. And he's a little over the top character-wise, but it ultimately works. Everyone else, very natural, very obviously, you know, real world characters. They all did a phenomenal job as far as that goes. So acting was one of the absolute shining aspects of this film. They were all so funny, and I think that has to go to scripting as well. I mean, I'm not sure how much ad-libbing there was done on set, but if there was a lot, fantastic. Even more credit to the actors. If it was mostly scripting, absolutely awesome. More credit to the writers. The writers, you know what I mean? Either way, it was really, really funny, and I couldn't tell if it was ad-libbed or written, and that in and of itself speaks to the quality of A, the writing, and B, the acting. So all in all, I was very happy with most of this film. When we get to the horror elements, the horror story part of it, it's absolutely nothing that we haven't seen before, and it's not executed at like the best level, right? We've seen we've seen a few aspects from this film done in other films and done better. And so that's what it's kind of running up against. The thing is, the interplay between characters and the driving of the story and the realistic yet hilarious reactions to certain situations play so well with this that I don't know how much you'd actually, you know, want to change if I were to offer any recommendations for change. So it's a very weird place to be in as a reviewer. I'm not an official critic by any, you know, metric, but I had a really great time with this film, and the only issues I had with it were the horror elements, which were very tropey and just didn't do anything that we hadn't seen done before. So that aspect wasn't very original, but my God, the acting and the scripting were so hilarious that I didn't really mind. Ultimately, it was a very worthwhile theater-going experience. The effects-wise, I mean, I know we break the movies down into all its different parts if we can. Effects-wise, there's not a ton to speak of. There's a little bit of gore effects, but the gore was very, very light. I don't even know if this was a PG-13 or a rated R film. I'm guessing PG-13. If it was rated R, it must have been for language, if nothing else. I don't even know if it made it to that level, though, to be honest with you guys. Like, it didn't stick out as egregious with curse words. It didn't stick out as egregious with gore. So I would assume it's a PG-13 movie. But it was a really funny, well-done PG-13 movie. So as far as that goes, not much else to be said regarding possible rating of the film. But it was just a really, really good time. So I am curious what everyone else's thoughts on this one were. The acting, they did a really great job the whole way through. Again, I was laughing so much through the film and feathered everyone's cap. Filmmaking-wise, it was very proficient. Tim Story has done so much, including a Fantastic Four movie once upon a time. You know, Tim Story knows his way, or maybe, I don't even know if he did both of them. He might have done both of them. But Tim Story knows his way around the director's chair. And it's so funny that he did a movie on what I would consider a much smaller scale than he's used to doing. But it is so fun and so well done that, you know, it doesn't surprise me that he's the one that directed it. So, I don't know. This movie, The Blackening, is a ton of fun and very much worth your guys' time. The gore that we got definitely worked out. The interplay between the characters is the shining beacon of the film, and I think that's what makes it worth everyone's chance to go and see. So, thank you guys very much for watching. If you have seen The Blackening or you are intending to see it, let me know what your thoughts are in those comments down below. Try and keep it spoiler-free, or at least make sure people know that there are spoilers in your comment if there are going to be. But I definitely recommend you guys go and see this in the theater, especially if you have a group of friends and you want to go have a good time. Have some drinks, don't have some drinks. Either way, you're going to have a great time and laugh your butts off while watching this movie. So, The Blackening is very much worth your time. Go and check it out. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, you guys, I've been Cecil Laird, and remember, stay scared.